Hello and welcome back to the Find Your Feet podcast, a podcast show dedicated to helping you get close to your true authentic self by helping you find your feet in life.
Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Today we are talking all about getting signs from the universe, asking for guidance, and how to interpret all the many ways that you can get signs from the universe, because it can be like kind of confusing. I feel like we have experienced like all of the signs. Well, there might be more that we've not experienced before. Like there's like common ways, and then when you hear us speak about this today, it'll help you know how to like interpret signs in your own life, because when you're able to recognize whether that like it's like an intuitive hit, like a download from the universe, a really good piece of guidance from the universe versus like something just random, it really helps you follow that guidance. And sometimes following that can be embarking on a new journey or something like that actually can really change your life or really improve your life. And it's just nice to like have a way to communicate with the universe. Like we're all always communicating with the universe, but when you like understand the signs and like what things mean and like kind of how to look out for them, then it just means you can take your relationship with the universe to another level.
Yeah, exactly. Like I literally love talking about signs because it just helps you build that trust.
Yeah.
Understand that you're not alone in this journey. If you like start to understand the signs and receive the signs, it just gives you like that little pat on the back and just to know,
it makes you feel like like more confident to like maybe, you know, do something that outside your comfort zone and stuff like that. If you're getting like signs and synchronicities that you should do it, like it just makes you kind of override that fear, which is you know, powerful. That's what we want.
But before we do jump into this episode, just a really quick word from our incredible sponsor, who are BetterHelp. So BetterHelp are an online professional counselling service, and their mission is to make therapy more accessible for people all around the world. So wherever you are in the world, you can access BetterHelp. All you have to do to access their online therapy is go onto their website and fill in a questionnaire to get a better idea of what kind of therapist you would need from BetterHelp. And then after that, you'll be matched with a therapist in just under 2 days, and you can begin your own therapy journey.
Therapy has been such a massive part of both me and Abby's personal development journeys. It's something we dip in and out of ongoing all the time because there's so much value in it. It really does change the game. So if you've been struggling recently with anything, BetterHelp have a huge range of expertise because they've got so many therapists on there, all really highly qualified licensed therapists. So whatever you're struggling with at the minute, there's somebody on there that's perfectly aligned with you who will be able to fulfill your needs through therapy.
And one of the things that can really stand in the way of people actually accessing therapy is the financial investment. But that is why we are really proud that BetterHelp is way more affordable than traditional offline counselling. And not only that, they are offering our listeners 10% off your first month of therapy. So if you do want to access that discount and get started on your own therapy journey, you can head to betterhelp.com/findyourfeet. That is betterhelp.com/findyourfeet.
You will receive your therapy through BetterHelp's online secure service. It's super safe, it's completely private, and you just do it from the comfort of your own home. But just head to the link in our show notes to start your therapy journey today. When you're embarking on your self-development journey, just your general journey in life, but especially like when you're trying to manifest something or like going for a goal, trying to make something happen, or you're a bit of a crossroads, you're not really sure what to do, seeking guidance from the universe is like super helpful in those moments. And the people ask for guidance in like different ways. Like some people are really specific with it. Like they'll literally say, universe, like show me a flamingo in the next 24 hours if I'm meant to do XYZ, or ask for something specific to be shown to them to see whether they should go ahead with something. And then obviously if you see it, then you know, and then if you don't, then you've got your answer as well. I personally don't ask for really specific things like that. Like I think that the universe is always listening to you. And if you're quite like, I don't know, in touch with yourself, like you do kind of journaling and meditation practices and stuff like that, just self-reflection practices where you're kind of checking in with you, you're getting quite clear on what it is that you want, what it is you need. You know, if you are trying to manifest, you know, typically when you're trying to manifest, you're getting clear about what it is that you want. So you might be writing them down, you might have a vision board. And I feel like when you're doing things like that, it's like a constant communication with the universe, because people always say like we're co-creating our life with the universe. I think that's the thing with like spirituality and dealing with like the magic of the world and everything like that, is that sometimes people think like it's superior to you, and it's not. Like, we are in charge, we're the humans with full free will. So when you're asking for guidance, you're always going to be listened to, and the universe is always going to give you an answer, but it's completely up to you whether you take that guidance on or not, whether you do what it's suggesting. Like, it's totally in your hands. But I think that when you understand that, then you can it'll help you identify when you are maybe at a crossroads and you aren't really sure what to do. Maybe you've been offered two job offers and you don't know which one to go for, or you're thinking about a career change, or you're just not happy in your career and you're asking for deeper purpose or something else to do to help you find your passion and work that's more fulfilling. You'll tend to get the ideas planted in your head, like little seeds from the universe. And I personally find, like, I always get these, and the more that you become aware of like receiving this kind of guidance, then the more you can tell whether it's like, you know, it is a hit from the universe, like an intuitive hit, versus whether it's just like something random, because it tends to like come in like, and it's something you've not thought of, and you're like, oh wow, that's such a good idea. That's your initial reaction, is like excitement and oh my god, yeah, that'd be great. And then what tends to happen is then the fear, your doubts, your insecurities start to come in quite quickly, and they're like, oh no, you couldn't do that, or you couldn't go into that industry, or you couldn't apply for the job at that company, or you couldn't reach out to that person for an opportunity, or something like that. And it's when you get that random little light bulb moment, that random idea, that is from the universe, that is your guidance, and it's up to you whether you accept that or reject it. And when you get it and then the fear comes up, don't listen to the fear. And when you know it's guidance from the universe, it's easier to not listen to the fear, because you wouldn't be like kind of told to do something like that by the universe if you weren't capable of it and it wasn't going to work out for you, because we live in a friendly universe, and the universe would never push you to do something that's not going to be good for you. So I feel like that's a really good way to know whether you should go and do something or not. And again, that's where we have that free will. So you might get downloads saying you shouldn't go and work at that company that you're interviewing for, because it's not actually right for you. Instead, you should do this and reach out to this person, because they're going to have an opportunity for you, and you don't know that they're going to have like an opportunity for you. It's that sort of synchronicity thing as well. And you just have to go for it. You have to push your fear aside and know that, and trust in the universe and in this sort of co-creation and this help that it's giving you. But if you don't want to go for the idea, you don't want to do it, then that's fine. You don't have to, but the universe will just give you help in another way, or give you another opportunity or another sign. And that's why what happens is, like, when you've got an ongoing kind of like problem, or you've got an ongoing feeling maybe of lack of purpose or lack of passion or fulfillment in your job or anything like that, just really not feeling happy at work, when you've got an ongoing thing like that, what tends to happen is then you don't listen to the signs, you don't listen to the guidance, you don't take action on those little pings, because you think, I can't do that, I'm not good enough. And then eventually the universe just moves life for you. Like that quote, like, I had to make you uncomfortable, otherwise you never would have moved. Then sometimes it kind of gets involved in that way, and that's when things can fall apart, and at the time you can't see that it's actually for a greater purpose until late down the line. Like, one of my favorite quotes that I live by is, you can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking back. And I think it was Steve Jobs that said that. And I think, like, for us as well, with like the podcast journey and like a business journey where you have no idea what is in front of you, like, you just have to keep going. And when things don't work out, like, you can't actually connect the dots, but I always know that I will be able to connect them looking back, because if you look back through your whole life through that lens, then you're like, oh yeah, like that makes sense, like, because things, bad things always kind of like happen, or you get rejected from certain things, whatever, and you're like, oh my god, I'm so glad I actually didn't get that, because it meant that I actually ended up at this situation, that was my dream job or my dream relationship, or I met my best friend or something like that. So you don't do it either, do you? Don't ask for like, universe, show me a stork. It's one of those big birds that delivers babies.
What, you meant like a beanstalk?
Well, because like you could ask for a flamingo, and you're in the UK, you're not going to see one, but you might see one on TV or something like that, or like on the side of a bus on an advert or something.
Yeah.
Like you get the sign like that. But yeah, I don't tend to ask for like really specific things like that. I like to just let the guidance flow in like really naturally. Because I feel like it makes me more obsessive if I ask for things specific like that. Do you know what I mean?
You're like crazy on the lookout.
Yeah.
I think it's cool when people do that.
Yeah, because it does work.
Stories.
Yeah.
Of like, especially even with numbers, I know a lot of people that will always kind of ask to see an angel number for reassurance. But I think as well, like in that process of asking for a sign of something, whether you get the sign or not, I think that like the period in between, you actually figure out kind of what you want anyway. Do you know what I mean? Because say if I'm like, I want a sign to move forward with something, and then I'm waiting for this sign, I think in that period, you know if you want the sign or not. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So whether like you get the sign or not, it just helps you figure out yourself what you want, and you get those intuitive hits like as you're waiting for the sign. So I don't know, it's not always necessarily like you get the pelican or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I think it's beautiful for people that do that. But yeah, I'm the same. I'm more try and sit in the silence, and I think try and let the kind of the downloads and the guidance come without shooing them away with the fear, because I think obviously like you said, that quote, I love that quote so much, like it had to make you comfortable, why she wouldn't have moved. It's so true. I like one story that always I think represents that for me is being cheated on. Like I know that because like that relationship was fine, it was like quite healthy, but there was the odd thing, especially towards the end, the odd thing where I'd be like, oh god, and that like weird intrusive feeling, a bit like, is this right? But I think when you're in that situation, obviously you can't just drop everything, like you have to go through a process. So I was like starting to go through that process, and then obviously that cheating came out of nowhere, and I remember literally saying to my friend like the week after, I was like, I literally said that quote to her, I was like 100% the universe just moved, because I probably wouldn't have got there myself, so something has to shift. But yeah, I think obviously because it makes you uncomfortable to move, it's usually those things that you're putting off avoiding. So it's like the fear can be super, super loud. So I think, one of the main reasons I get signs from the universe is prioritizing that silence and the meditation and the stillness to actually receive the downloads. Because I think if you're too busy running around your life, it's very easy to be like, oh, it's not a sign, that's a fear. And actually another huge thing which can be really confusing is trying to know if it's an intuitive message or if that is the fear. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so you really have to, I think the only way you can really get to know yourself and know who's talking is through things like meditation and sitting in the silence and understanding your own thoughts and fears and triggers to identify, is this an intuitive feeling? Is this a message? Is this literally just a fear? But it's like all a process of like getting to know yourself. Yeah. And I think like with all these things, we always say with your intuition, like when you're trying to build that relationship with it, that trust, like start small. So start paying attention to it and like take its guidance on like smaller things in your life, then see that positively works out for you, and then you feel braver to do the bigger things. But I want to share as well a really good example of like when you get that ping from the universe and that idea and that sort of download to do something that's gonna like bring lots of like sort of joy to your life, or something, it just is like a new path for you to embark on, or whatever, or just a new idea. Because for 2020, because I make a vision board at the start of every single year, and I always tend to split it into categories and themes. And on my 2020 vision board, I put a category on there about having fun, and I put this like, you know, Pinterest cringo quote on there that said, take time to do what sets your soul on fire. Because obviously subconsciously at that point in my life, then like I must not have been feeling like I was spending that much time doing certain things that set my soul on fire. And my life is very different now to what it was at that point, like in a completely different career, completely different city, like living situation, everything's totally changed. Obviously everyone's life kind of changed just the pandemic, but anyway, I put that sort of vibe on my vision board, and I just was attracted to that quote, because I always get my images from Pinterest. I was attracted to that quote. I never overthink a vision board. I just go with what I'm drawn to, and I just put it on there, and then that was it. And then from that, like a few months later, it was the start of the pandemic. I was on a walk in the woods near my
house, and these woods, like I've grown up going in there. Like I think they're really a place of clarity for me, like because meditation, you can do it while walking, like not literally sit there going while you're walking down thing, but just mindfully walking, just being in nature. Like you can even not even necessarily mindfully, like I stick podcasts in and listen to music and stuff while I'm on a walk, but like just that thing of being in nature gives you that level of stillness that you're talking about being quiet to hear things. And I always get pings and stuff I can't tell you the amount of times that I've got little downloads and important messages whilst I've been in that park on my own. But anyway, so I was on a walk through there, and I just found out that I was getting put on furlough. Like my whole company basically was put on furlough from in the start of the pandemic. And if anyone's listening and doesn't know what furlough is, it's because I don't know if it's just a UK term, but it basically means you just stop working. You still get paid your salary, but you just not working, because obviously the world stops. They didn't need us to be doing what we were doing. So yeah, anyway, I was on the walk and I was just found out, and I was like, oh, okay, so what am I going to do with like my time off? Like, you know, I could do something, like, you know, something to focus on. What shall I do? And then it just came through, like literally you feel it like download into your head. It's like a ping, and it's like, and I go, oh, that's good. So I came through and it's like, you should do a podcast. And like that's not really something I've ever sat around and thought about that much before. We joked about it about a year before this, but we never would have actually done it at that point of our lives. Anyway, it came through and I just thought, oh gosh, that sounds fun, doesn't it? And before my fear had a chance to creep in and telling me that I wouldn't be able to do that and that'd be too hard, and you can't do that, you don't know anything about it, and what the hell are you going to talk about? All those thoughts that would come in. I just got my phone out and just sent you a voice note, and do you fancy starting a podcast with me? What do you think? Because I knew that you'd just been put on furlough as well a few days before, and you were like a bit miffed about it, because you were like, what am I going to do? Like,
I was like, oh my god, what the hell am I going to do?
Yeah, like, oh god, this is boring. So anyway, yeah, so that's like an example there where you get that ping in, and if you kind of like act on it and let yourself entertain the idea and like actually start making moves towards it, and don't let that fear come in and take over you and hold you back, you can get really amazing, you know, results. It could bring you fulfillment. So I'd put my vision board, want to take time to do what sets my soul on fire. Woohoo. And like that's exactly, finding your feet was exactly a manifestation of that. So that's why when you're manifesting, sometimes you can just manifest a feeling. Sometimes people are like, I don't know what to manifest, I don't know what to specifically write down, and that's fine. Like you can just have a feeling. I want to feel more free, I want to feel love, I want to feel fun, or you want to take time to set my soul on fire, you know, like a feeling. And then from that you open it up, you communicate with the universe through your vision board and your thoughts, and it comes and brings you ideas of ways that it knows that could really be fulfilling for you and give you that feeling that you want to create. And then it's up to you whether you take that on or not. And luckily, obviously, I did take that on, and here we are. And now, because I did that, and I'm like, God, I'm so glad, because my life would be so different. I wouldn't have met so many people that we've met through the podcast. We wouldn't be sitting here in the studio having fun doing this episode. You wouldn't be listening to this. So many things wouldn't have happened if I didn't pay attention to that random fleeting thought. Be so random. And that's the thing, like your life can completely change where you are now and where you are in a year. The only like difference could be that you have to make is that you just actually entertained one thought that you had, like about a new idea or anything. It's kind of like that butterfly effect as well, like how that one decision, you know, changes the trajectory of your life. But yeah, so when you getting like the guidance from the universe, like it comes through like a ping like that, like you really feel like it just like whooshes into your mind, and it excites you, the thought excites you. So that's how I differentiate between what's like something random or whatever, or an idea worth following, is that feeling that I get and kind of where it comes from. So now, because I'm quite confident now to listen to those ideas, because I've, you know, done it with this and it's worked out really well and been amazing, and brought me so much fulfillment and joy, I then will do it for like other things, and like I really trust it. And then even then, like, you know, when you think, oh God, can I do this other thing that I've thought about doing, it's like, well, no, because like the universe gave you that idea for a reason. Like I do think we've all got potential, like and we don't have to fulfill everything in it, because again, we've got free will and a choice. but like we have that potential within us because we can do it, like it's possible, like we're capable of it. So that's kind of on like guidance and how you can how it comes in that way, and whether you reject or accept the idea and run with it. So I hope that's clear. Like,
yeah, and I think just to finish on that point, I think as well, when you get those pings, you should always like hold on to the first emotions that you felt.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because like sometimes people can get these ideas and they're like, I'm gonna start my own business, I'm gonna do this, and you get so excited about it, and it's like their soul is on fire. And then, as you said, naturally as humans, that fear and that doubt sets in. Say you've left it a week, you've left it 2 weeks, the fear, oh, can I do this? It starts to set in, and you think, that's weird. I was so excited about this at the start. And that is not because you're not excited or because it's not in alignment. It's literally just because the fear and doubt started to like get in your way.
Yeah.
You have to literally like trick your mind and be like, no, like always ride on those first feelings that you get. Because as well with things, you'll get bad feelings at the start. And you'll be like, is this right? Try and remember that as well. But yeah, if you have an idea and you're so buzzing about it, and then like life gets in the way and maybe things get hard, things get in the way, always think back to those first feelings you had. Like, did it feel good? Did it feel in alignment? Because more times than not, it did.
Yeah.
It's just that fear and doubt is like trying to pull you back into your comfort zone because it feels unsafe, but it's not unsafe once you just push yourself and really go for it.
Because like the fear and doubt will keep you in your comfort zone, and your comfort zone is like whatever is familiar. So your boring job that you don't like, that makes you sad and brings you down, can be in your comfort zone. So yes, so that is that on sort of like guidance. But in terms of like how to interpret signs, like obviously we were just saying there, like the guidance comes in as a thought and stuff like that, and ways to strengthen up your ability to receive that guidance is through doing things like meditation. And you don't need to sit in a meditation for like an hour a day, half an hour a day, like nothing like that. I don't do anything like that. I do 10 minutes, 15 minutes a day, and that's it. And that really keeps my mind clear and open, ready to like hear anything, and ready to connect to my intuition. And so we've got like seven chakras. I never know how you say it. Is it chakra or chakra?
I say chakras.
Chakras.
I think you struggle because you say it the American way.
Oh right.
Because they're like chakras. Whereas like, I mean, I'm just going off what I hear. People say chakras, but then I start saying chakras, and then I'm like, is it chakra? I just don't even know. I think it's whatever you want it to be.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so you've got your 7 chakras, and then at the top, the top one is your crown chakra, and that one I just only recently learned that you only open that when you start to do things like meditation, mindfulness, yoga, and things like that. That's how it actually opens. And when you are so again, it's not like this is unattainable for anyone listening to this right now to open their crown chakra and to do this. Like I said, like I just do a very short amount of meditation, and that's super powerful. It's all about just being consistent and making it work for you. There is no right or wrong way. Like you don't need to be intimidated by it. It's like everyone can do it. So but by regularly having like a practice like that where you are sitting in stillness, it really does obviously quieten down the thoughts in your mind. And the more and more you do it, you're never not going to have any thoughts. That's the really important thing to know, is like meditation is not to have no thoughts, but what it does, it just helps you. It helps you gain awareness of your thoughts. So then you are able to interpret whether, it's a fear thought coming up telling you to quit your job or actually cancel that job interview for that dream company because you're not good enough, versus whether it's like your intuition, like the universe coming in and warning you away from something or pushing you to do something. And meditation helps you strengthen that ability to differentiate between the two. And the other thing that it does with opening your sort of crown chakra is that it actually raises your vibe, it raises your frequency. And if you're familiar with manifesting and stuff like that, a lot of it is about raising your vibe. And that doesn't mean that you can only manifest when you're like really high vibe, because that's a really toxic way of thinking. And don't be scared of your thoughts, your down days, or anything like that it will not affect your ability to bring goodness into your life. But meditation basically opens you up to different frequencies in the world, and that means that you can tap into higher frequency emotions like love, joy, happiness, calm, stillness, peace, gratitude, contentment. And then it also means that it opens you up to guides. So the universe or spirit guides, like not everyone connects to the idea of spirit guides. Like, I think everyone's got a really unique journey with it. I personally really connect with spirit guides. Like, it's always been something that I've, meditated on. Like Gabby Bernstein's got great meditations for it. They are very simple. It's not like scary, like calling in like scary ghosts or anything. It's nothing like that. It's like these guides and spirit guides, they can be actually people from, your family that have maybe passed. And they're just like people who just look after you, or they might literally be, just a friendly angel, like just a guide, like not connected to your family or anything like that. Also, you can have spirit guides that are actually old pets, like past. Like, I was literally talking to my friend the other day, and she was telling me that like her old cat that she used to like have when she was growing up, and they had this like really amazing bond, her and it's Libby. She don't mind me saying this. Is this cat that she had, and she had this really special bond with it when she was younger. And she actually used to say when she was younger, oh yeah, I can't remember what she said the cat was called, but she said, me and this cat, we were together in a past life or something like that. But she said it when she was really young and didn't even really know what that meant. And then she's done like energy healing and Reiki and stuff like that just recently, and like saw the cat and like was talking to the woman about it. She was like, yeah, that, I can't remember what she said the cat was called. It's a really cute name. But she was like, yeah, it's your spirit guide. Like, so it can even be like pets, which, a lot of people really connect with their pets. Like pets have souls and energy. Like,
yeah, sure.
So it could even be that. But basically when you do meditation, it just kind of like it tunes you out of like the general day-to-day busyness of life and just gives you a moment of stillness and peace to invite your spirit guides in for guidance, for help. So it's really nice to like maybe meditate and invite them in, but only invite in the spirit guides of the highest truth and compassion.
Yeah,
you gotta like be clear that you want the right ones, and then you can free flow journal after, and they'll give you a message. Like Gabby, I'll link it in the show notes. I've mentioned this meditation before, but she's got a really good one that's like really good, just like 15 minutes something for just calm you down, then inviting your guides in, and then afterwards you free flow journal and ask for a message, and like you write out, and you'll be really shocked because you'll be like free flow writing this thing, and it's like, it's not like your hands literally moving and you've got no control, but like it's just this free flow stream of like consciousness. And so that's another way to get signs, guidance.
Yeah, especially with meditation, like when you do like love and kindness and stuff like that, you're literally tapping into the frequency of love, which is like
Sinead Hegarty's Brave Way meditation course, the love and kindness meditation, so nice. I love that one.
I think it's so nice as well because she loves those meditations. So you can tell she's done
meta
a lot.
meditation or something like that. Really nice.
Like if everyone, I always say this, but if everyone in the world did that love meditation, like the world would be a different place, because you're literally tapping into the frequency of love all around the world. And I think as well with things like spirit guides, you, like, I'll show you the story that I just told Grace before, like you might be actually talking to them way more than you think. Because me personally, I'm in touch with my intuition, and I journal and stuff, and I'm in the process of like connecting to my guides, but I wouldn't say I like have clear guides. I don't have names or anything like that. And I had like a astrology / psychic reading at the weekend, just like a kind of random one, and she literally was like channeling, and she was like basically speaking through my guides, and my guides were saying to me, you speak to them all the time, like I speak to them all the time, but I just don't realize. So like I think I'm talking to my intuition, and as soon as she said it, it clicked to me. I was like, that makes so much sense, because I feel like I'm always talking to someone, and then sometimes it is my intuition and stuff, but I do feel like I do get messages and I'm talking to someone, and but the thing why, if like you might be in a similar situation, someone that's listening, and the only reason why like you don't comprehend that it's a guide is because like you're not used to it. Do you know what I mean? It's like that part of you that's like, well, no, but you will, like, the more you like meditate and the more you raise your frequency, you will connect with that. It's just about like trusting the messages, because the more you trust the messages, the more they will come through for you. But another great way to receive signs is from dreams. And I feel like this can be like a bit of a scary one, because I know some people have like the weirdest dreams, me included, like beyond weird. And then I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, was that a sign? But I think the process of like getting signs from your dreams is really something you have to work on yourself and understand is it a sign or is it literally just something that my brain has been processing overnight? But we are going to get a dream expert on because we really want to know like the science behind it, like the brain science, like what's happening. Like I've listened to a few podcasts where they've kind of gone into it, like the intuitive dreams and precognitive dreams, and like why you can receive messages even about the future through your dreams. But we are going to get someone on to really explain it to a T. But this podcast that I listened to with Dr. Michael Lennox on Saturn Returns with Kagi, we will leave it in the show notes because it's a really good, informative little episode. But he explains that the reason why you can get strong messages within your dreams is because that conscious mind that is running our day-to-day life is obviously silent because you're asleep. So your subconscious mind can speak way more, and it will send you messages through your dreams because literally your conscious mind is quiet. Yeah, that's why you may receive messages when you're falling asleep. But his best advice is what he was saying, because it can be quite overwhelming with dreams, is that to strengthen your relationship, you really just need to pay more attention to your dreams. So to keep like a dream journal and every single morning write down what you're dreaming. And sometimes you'll understand that it's just completely random, but you might start to see synchronicities. And as well, he was explaining that the more you write down your dreams and pay attention, the more your intuition will listen. And he has studies and studies to prove this. Like he's not just thought this up, like it's very, very interesting. So if you are someone that you think you receive messages in your dreams, then start writing them down. And as well, I once I've received like this is like totally random, I've never talked about it on the podcast before, but I don't know if anyone's into subliminals. Do you listen to subliminals? No. Well, they're really cool. I really like them.
What is it?
I'm not listening to
a band. It sounds like the band.
The Subliminals. No, they're like they're usually about 10 minutes, and it's called like subliminal messages, and it literally just sounds like the oceans or whatever, but it's set to a certain frequency that your subconscious mind can access. So
it has on YouTube or something?
Yeah, there's like loads on YouTube. The best guy's called Hypno Daddy. Literally,
Daddy.
Yeah, if you go on his and look at the comments, you will literally be mind blown. Like so many people. Like, I don't even know, part of it is probably placebo as well, but it is mad. Like, so many people change their life around just by listening to subliminals. And it basically has affirmations that you can't hear with the conscious mind, but with the subconscious mind you can, and it reprograms your brain as you fall asleep. It's nuts. You need to try it.
So it's at like a high, because there's like obviously sounds at loads of different frequencies that like we can't hear. Like animals can hear certain sounds that we can't because our ears aren't tuned into the frequency. So there's lots of things around us that we can't see or hear because it's just humans, we don't tune into that frequency. So is it like that kind of like...
Yeah, similar vibe. And like with them, you're always meant to listen with headphones, because like I know that with that Hypno Daddy, he like plays certain parts and it's like that needs to go in your left ear for like a certain part of your brain. Yeah, he's proper advanced.
How does he bloody know to do this?
He's done it for years and years. Like he used to upload them years ago on YouTube, and then he like disappeared for a few years, and he came back and YouTube like blew up. It crazy. But yeah, when I started listening to them, I started getting mad messages in my dreams, and they were like just so like intuitive, and it was because like I don't know, it was just receiving guidance through these subliminals. It was a mad world. But yeah, definitely go and try them, guys. But be careful, because you can actually, if you do too many, you have to do a subliminal flush.
What's that?
I don't know. Apparently, you can't do too many. Like you couldn't listen to like 10 in a day. It'd probably overwhelm your subconscious.
What's a subliminal flush?
It like flushes it out.
Oh my God.
I've never listened to that many. I haven't got the time to listen to 10.
Yeah.
But definitely when you're falling asleep, I 100% recommend it. It's really good.
Oh my God. Yeah, because when you're slipping into that state from falling asleep to, that's when your subconscious mind is the most active.
Yeah, you can even do it for like things like pain. Like when I was ill before Christmas, I was doing it like pain release and stuff, subliminals.
Wow, cool. Oh my God.
Yeah, so we'll tag Hypno Daddy. Yeah, hit him up. Good old Hypno Daddy. But if you want to know your dreams more, then start by writing them down and building that relationship with yourself.
Because sometimes your dreams are actually really random, because sometimes you're actually processing emotions and pain and trauma and stuff through a dream. Because I don't actually really understand the science behind it. I don't know if it's because it's just your subconscious at work to process an emotion, to put it away. And so sometimes you can like redream things that are similar to like a bad experience something you had, and that's not necessarily that it's a sign or like an intuitive thing that it's going to happen again and you need to be scared. But yeah, like but then there's also I think you know when it's like an intuitive dream. Like I've literally, it was when me and you went away to like the Cotswolds and we were together in our matching pajamas, you know, having a little sleepover in the cottage, and I like literally had this like really intuitive dream about my best friend doing something so random, and it was so weird. And I texted her in the morning like, this really weird dream of you doing this, and she was like, are you a spy? How the fuck did you know that? Like, I didn't want to tell you, but like, that's what's been going on or something like that. And I was like, oh my God. And then, I like, because of that, I was then able to help her with this problem she was having at the time, that she just hadn't like properly told me about. And that was like an intuitive dream telling me that I needed to tell my friend that she wasn't okay. But it came through as in this message of something that was so random. And I thought it was funny and told her, and she was like, what's wrong with you? How did you know that? But I think people that you're like really connected to in life, like because relationships aren't just like spending time, like you've got an energetic connection, like you form an energetic cord with people. That's why, like, you know, when you break up with someone or whatever, or like it's hard to like for that to fall away, like it takes a bit of time, and sometimes it never falls away because you form this like strong energetic connection with someone, and even if you're not in their lives anymore, you can still be like connected by energy. But what also is so weird is like, and we've spoken about this so much, and I think because we're really connected, because like we're really close, and obviously like talk all the time, we're like really in each other's vibes all the time. Like you will, and it'll go through periods where it's more prominent than not. But like I'll literally be thinking of you, and I'll get a text through from you right then, and I'm like, oh my God, I was literally just thinking about you, just text me. And it's like, and then you said that Estelle told you this, but that in that moment, you've got to think, like, whether did they text you because you thought of them, or did you think of them because they were thinking of you because they were writing your text? Like, you know what I mean? So, I mean, you never really know the answer to that, but like, it's interesting to think about. So that's what I always think about now. And it's so weird because, yeah, like, I don't know, I've even had dreams about people that I've not spoken to for ages, and then they text me like a couple of days later, and we haven't spoken for months or whatever, and it's cracky up. And it's really random, and it's obviously because they're thinking about you. So like your psychicness, like your energy is picking up on that, and like that's why they're in your dream, or why they're just on your mind. Because I mean, I think everyone can relate to that one of the texting thing, like when you're thinking about someone, they literally send you a text. But that's how like connected we all actually are. Like
like in that podcast, and just in general, I keep hearing this, that like literally everyone is psychic, like everyone has those abilities. It's just whether you actually learn to home in on them. So like obviously we walk around and say, oh my God, this person's psychic, but it's actually just that they have sat there and practiced how to tap into those abilities. Because he was saying in that podcast, he was like, everyone can have intuitive dreams and know what's coming in the future. It's just whether you actually listen to them. But yeah, it's the same for like psychic abilities. Like everyone has it within them. You tap in.
And I think that like people that you're really close to, like it's easier to be connected to them in that way, rather than like I'm gonna look at this person across the street and with my eyes I'm gonna make them think of me or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like but yeah, another way that you can actually get signs, guidance from the universe is angel numbers, which is again a really common one that a lot of people use. Like so many people look out for like 1111 and stuff like that and see that, you know, you always see people put it on their Instagram story and stuff, but obviously each number kind of means something different, and you can kind of Google and look at what they mean. But I personally take angel numbers like as just signs that like maybe I'm in alignment, like, you know, doing everything's like, you know when you're on like having a day where like you're on a roll, sort of like everything's popping off, like you're on a vibe, like everything's good, you're making like things are happening, and you see loads of angel numbers throughout the day. I think it's just like a sign like, yeah, you know, in alignment, you're good, like just like support. But I also, when I see angel numbers, I always like to stop in that moment and think, what was I just thinking about when I then turned my head and saw the clock and it was on an angel number, and then notice what you're thinking about, because that can be a sign as well. Like you could be thinking about, you could be worrying about something or thinking, should I do something? Should I do this? And then you see that angel number, and if you're able to think that and like just stop and think, okay, what was this thought I was just having in that moment? That can really help you as well. With like guidance and stuff. Like that's how I usually use angel numbers.
Yeah, I love a bit of angel numbers. I usually do a similar thing. I just think like when you keep seeing the same one, I just think that's like a sign, that like keep going in alignment. Like the one that I'm seeing recently is 333, and I just keep seeing it everywhere, and I feel like because I know it's that 333 number, when I see it, it's like that little reassurance, like I'm here.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
It's so nice. I do love angel numbers.
Yeah. And another way that you can like quite proactively seek guidance and signs is through cards, like pulling angel cards. Like I've got a really nice deck. It's called like Own Your Light or something like that, or oracle cards. Like it's really popular set of cards. Just get it from Amazon, like they're literally like £8 or something like that. But then you can literally like ask the cards a question, and then you pull the one you're drawn to, and then you read the little book, and it'll explain what the card means and gives you signs. And like you can do like the one that I have, you can do this like 11 card pull, and it's basically like a full check-in, like what's being manifested at the minute, what you need to let go of, all different questions like that, and then it gives you guidance through that as well. And they're always like really bang on, and there's like certain cards that I always end up pulling out all the time, and there's like 100 and something cards in the deck, and at the time the most you're ever only pulling is 11. So like think about like how many times you've got to pull that same, what are the chances of you pulling that same card all the time, because it's giving you guidance, giving you signs. Like some people are like, what cards, like a bit weird, but it's fun as well. Like, they're not like scary cards like the death card. Like I don't use stuff like that. Like they're just like really nice, like angel. They're really pretty as well. But
yeah, no, definitely. I feel like cards will always give you that that guidance that you want, whether you're gonna listen to it or not.
Oh my god, I'm actually just thinking, me and Abby, oh my god, I was like really unsure once on whether to basically go on like a date. And I was like, but I knew that it wasn't right. Like I can't, we were just like, what should we do? Well, no, I was like, what should I do? And we were like, let's ask the cards. So we like pulled out the cards and pulled out the Great Crumbling, which means like everything's falling to shit. Like, like as in back away and let things fall to shit. Like stop, like try, like as in the Great Crumbling is all about like foundations falling through, and you just need to allow it and just like surrender, basically let go. Stop trying to hold things up because everything's crumbling. And we were like, okay, gonna go on the date anyway. Let's just say it ended in the Great Crumbling.
Then when it all started to crumble, we were just sat there and we were like, we did pull the Great Crumbling.
So it can be quite funny. And again, that's the thing, you've got free will, so like you can pull the card, but it's completely up to you whether you like take the advice or not. But I think the final thing of how like another way you can get signs and stuff is just synchronicities, and they're just like little things, like maybe somebody mentioning someone to you, or and a few people mention it, and it's like related to something, and it's like a sign for you to like go and do something, like just something like that. Did I explain that really badly?
No.
Or just like, you keep seeing, I don't know, like a restaurant always popping up in like maybe on your Instagram feed, and it's not because Mark Zuckerberg's listening to you and sending you an advert, but as in like, it keeps popping up, you keep seeing adverts for it, or something like that, or someone mentions it to you, like it keeps coming up through different ways. Like that's off like synchronicities. So that's, might be like, oh, you need to go to that restaurant, and the reason why I need to go to that restaurant is because when you go there, you're going to meet the love of your life, or you're going to meet your new business partner, and your life's going to change, or something like that. Things that will change the trajectory of your life. But it just kind of comes through other people. It comes through like adverts and messages and random stuff, and oh, that's so weird, and just open this magazine on this this page, and it's literally like the title of the article is giving you like a message for something. Like, do you know what I mean? Like little random things like that is what synchronicity is. And you can always tell within yourself, like, oh, right, this is a sign. Like, because it you're like, oh, like it makes you prick up, like your ears prick, and you're like, prick up.
Yeah.
And like makes your eyes, like it just makes you like,
Yeah, no,
hold
totally.
on a minute, what's this? Like, just makes you pay attention.
Yeah, it's like where something's popping up and then you're all suddenly like, you notice and you're like, this must be a sign. Like there's, like it's just as if something like it's too weird for it not to be a sign. Like the way the synchronicity comes together.
Yeah.
And yeah, you'll know within yourself. I think they're like my favourite kinds of signs.
Yeah,
like
one of the really good examples of synchronicities was what Roxy Nafusi was saying in our episode with her, about how on the day that her son was born, exactly 1 year prior to it, so she'd said to the universe, I want to manifest unconditional love. And then so on this certain day in June, I can't remember what the date was, her current partner, who's also the father of her child, had messaged her on a dating app, but she deleted the app so she didn't see it at the time. She saw it later, but it was on this specific day. And on that same day, 3 of her exes came back into her life, like trying to reach back out and make contact. And also it was the birthday of her like first relationship that she'd had where she was like madly in love, like very like, one of those, like relationships that deeply imprint stuff on you. Like, it was all on this one day, and it was so weird, and it was all synchronicities like that. And she basically like ignored all her exes, and through doing that, she cleared space for her to meet her partner now. And then exactly 1 year later to that day, her son was born. So she manifested the unconditional love, because her son is that feeling of unconditional love. So like that's such an amazing example of like synchronicity, but it happens all the time. That's quite like a wow example, like a big one, but it happens on like a smaller scale all the time. And when you can start to like notice it, you can like confidently make choices and be led to like what you're meant to be led to. Because it's like I like to think of synchronicity as well as like little, in that fairy tale, I can't remember what it is, where they like leave, or maybe it's Snow White, where she leaves she leaves like bread bits in the forest so she knows how to get home.
Oh right.
Like, so it's like a guide, like not so synchronicities aren't to help you find your way back home, but as in they're like little bits of bread or something like to help you divert to where you need to go, kind of thing. They're like helping you, like they're like a map sort of.
Yeah, like guiding you.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, no, completely. I hope everyone that's listening is more informed on signs now, and you can start really noticing more signs from the universe and really like receiving that guidance that you deserve, because life can be scary sometimes. You don't know which way to turn. So the more you tune into the guidance, realize you're not actually alone.
It really helps you be more confident.
Yeah, definitely.
But that is all for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy it, please let us know. Leave us some feedback on Apple Podcasts. Leave us a review. Leave us a star rating. And on Spotify as well, you can leave us a star rating too. Really helps the show grow, and we love to hear your feedback. And if you have any thoughts on the show, maybe you've had like some crazy signs or something like that you want to share, like come and DM it to us. Like we can reshare it on the story as well, so that like other people can see it. Because I think it's so cool to like hear other people's stories with signs and stuff. But if you enjoyed it, share it on your Instagram story, tag us. We really appreciate all the shares, all the feedback. We love chatting, connecting with you guys. I just love, pulls the community together. So come and say hello. Yeah, definitely go share it with your friends if they've had synchronicities too. And you guys heard us speak quite a lot about meditation in that episode. So me and Grace have been meditating on and off for years, really, and we absolutely love it. And that is why we created our range of affirmations and meditations that you can access on our website. So they're a digital download. They are planned and recorded by us with some really relaxing music. So if you're new to meditation, or you're within your journey and you want to dive into more specific things like self-love or career focus, then go and check out the meditations. They're only $3.99 for lifetime access. Yes, just head to findyourfeetpodcast.com. The link is in the show notes. And don't forget, if you have been thinking about therapy, just head to the link betterhelp.com/findyourfeet for 10% off your entire first month of therapy with BetterHelp. But thank you so much for listening, guys. We'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.